My name is Jimmy Carty. I worked on the docks for roughly 42 years.
Okay.
As a casual docker first, and then became forklift truck driver.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I'm just going to move on now and talk about the buttons. So just wondering, could you tell me what a button was?
Well, a button was a preference for work. You know, you had the button. The button men would be picked first, and then if there wasn't enough, he'd say, "Is there any more button men?" No, and then he would pick the casuals like myself. I hadn't a button, you know.
Right. So to not have a button, what did that mean for you as a employee? Like just.
Well, when I look back at it, I never thought of it at the time. I was just happy enough to get a day's work, and as I said, I got married then early. You know, I was 19 when I got married, but I was just happy enough to get a day's work or a couple of days through the week. So we had one child, and we were happy enough. You know, food on the table was the main thing. You know,
Yeah.
but it was sort of very. What would you say when he pointed you and stuff like that? It was very shameful, more or less, I'd say. You know, that geez, he didn't even know my name, but the pride that's, you know, saying when you go to a normal job in an ordinary, you just clock in and they know you and all that, but when you're there every day, and sometimes they know you and they just point at you, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's more.
So was there different people picking people every day, or would it have been the same?
Well, the foreman that would be picking would be different companies, you know.
Okay.
But they'd be the same people picking, you know. There were a couple of different Palgraves, Irish Shipping, you know, George Bell, you know. There were different foremen. They were the same every day, though. They were the same people, and they will get to know you. And when they do get to know you, they call you. They called me Macker, you know, because Carty is the name. They always thought it was McCarthy, you know.
Yeah.
So my father went under Macker, and I went under Macker as well as him, you know.
Okay.
So that's when he called me father at one stage, you know, father say, "Walk out with me." So the two of us would get a job, you know. So my father started to do that one, you know.
So it was kind of like a
give him the thumbs up, yeah. And then when he got to know me, you know, my father wouldn't be in the same read. My father might be in a different read. Might be 2-3 reads going on together. Say you had Palgraves, say you had Irish Shipping, and then you maybe have George Bell, and they get up at 8 o'clock, the three of them together. So you'd have to take a chance. Which one are you going to go into?
Okay.
And what boat has he got, and what boat has he got? You know, and say, well, it was a big boat with 3 or 4 hatches on it. They might want 3 gangs, you know, you know, or 4 gangs. So you have a better chance with the foreman than he might only want 1 gang. So you wouldn't be, because the button man would be, and the button man always went to the best paying job.
They knew.
You know, they knew, yeah.
Okay.
There was the Carricks had a house gang, they called them, and they were all employed, and we'd be no point in standing in because you wouldn't get a job, you know.
Yeah.
If the man who was doing the read and all the button men were gone didn't know any casual dockers,
you and you.
what criteria did they use to pick?
They just give us your cards.
Completely random, was it?
Yeah, and the low self-esteem and that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you got the job and you were away. You forgot about it. You actually didn't think of it at that time. Only now, in my later years, they were saying. Well, my brother, I'll give you the example, was that brother I was speaking about who done the singing. He said, Al is his name. He said he came down. He was working in Gouldings on a regular season, and if you done 2 or 3 seasons, you'd be made permanent. And it was hard work. You had to make your own fertilizer. You had to batches, they were called, put them into 16-stone bags, and then they'd be loaded into the wagons. You know, now I done one of that. I got a job there 1 season, I did, and but there was nothing on the docks, so you had to try something, you know. So I ended up, you know, as I said, he came Gouldings, there was nothing, they were very slack, so he came out and he tried to get a job on the docks. Like, that's the way it worked. And he said, I'm not standing in there anymore. He said, I'm not standing there for somebody to do that to me, he said.
Yeah.
And never came back.